distance. It's dumped by Benami. The leaders are winding up here. Daytona, the big one is out. Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to the Legacy Sports Car Series, the premier multi-class sports car racing. Tonight, we're at the virtual Road America, where we're going to go 45 minutes around the 4-mile raceway. As always, my name is James Eastspring, the Action 1080p 60 frames a second, on behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. As our drivers starting to grid it up here today and get ready, it's Terry Crouch starting on pole in the LMP2. He'll be joined by Nicholas Morelli starting second. Casey Carrington starts third. Jack Forsey qualifies first in the Daytona Prototypes. He'll be starting fourth overall. Tim Jonk starting fifth. You got Zach Rogers in the GT1. He's starting sixth. Finley Fitzsimmons starts seventh in the GT3. Alex Penn starts eighth. Gareth McAllister starting ninth. Joseph Penn starts 10th. Jacob Money starts 11th. And DJ Weeks Jr. will be the last remaining driver of this 12-car grid. Well, let's get ready to send them out there. Again, 45 minutes here tonight. A one pit stop feature event. And a lot of talented drivers coming out here in the multi-class. Good to see some familiar faces join us here at Legacy for the first time. Terry Crouch, number 26. He's been fast in a lot of other events I've called, so looking forward to seeing what he can do out here today as the iRacing pace car is going to make its way out. And we will get things started with a very short warm-up lap. Looks like Money and Weeks unable to make their way out of the grid, so Zach Rogers may be our lone GT1 driver. As already, Forsey has a bit of problems as well. Let's see what Morelli and Crouch are going to do in the front row here at Road America. And away they go, getting the party started off strong. Crouch out front by about a half-second diving into turn one. Everybody's got to be careful here. Cold tires coming out onto the track, so still want to play it a little bit safe, not push too hard here. As your three LMP drivers running 1, 2, 3. In the background, you can see Forsey in his number 74 Daytona Prototype. Doing a fairly good job staying with these LMP2s. The LMP2s just have so much incredible power. As we dive it in deep, and still Crouch out front. Morelli second, Carrington third. We've got a pretty heated battle going on in the GT3 class as well. Alex Penn defending off the world-famous Australian Gareth McAllister, who's a half-second back. McAllister has Fitzsimmons 6/10 back. As we also have what looks like Zach Rogers following the Daytona Prototype of Tim Jonk to battle for the 5th overall position. Now, Rogers and Jonk still in two different classes out here today, but they're here to race, and they're here to race hard. As we check back in your race leaders still less than a second separating your top three drivers, leading both the overall as well as the LMP2 class. It's still Crouch out front, Morelli second, Carrington third. Joseph Penn, he takes a toe back to pit road as Fitzsimmons has an off-track excursion in his Ferrari. Alrighty, losing a few of the drivers. Again, DJ Weeks Jr. and Jacob Money did not start here tonight. Gareth McAllister also has his off-track excursion, but we can't look away from the battle out front. Still less than half a second separating Crouch from Morelli. Looks like these LMP2 drivers trying to extend the track as far as they possibly can to get the run built up. These high horsepower, high downforce and horsepower machines will only get faster as the run progresses here tonight. As that fuel load starts to drop and the tires get well sorted in. Looks like Carrington has a bit of a bobble through 4 and 5 there. They're able to hold on to it as Morelli falls back about 7/10 behind your race leader, Crouch. And check back in with Tim Jonk and Zach Rogers. Still less than a half second between themselves. Rogers leading the GT1's a lone entry after his competitors did not make the grid. Tim Jonk still running strong though. He's running second in class, 5th overall. I'm interested to see where that Rogers is trying to make a move around Jonk. Normally the Daytona prototypes have just a little bit more motor underneath them, as they can see ahead in the foreground. That is Jack Forsey leading the class in the Daytona prototypes. Jonk about 2.5 seconds back from the class leader. Carrington has an off track. Looks like the LMP2 is still relatively shiny, the PlayStation Max Honda LMP2. But now he'll be about 2.6 seconds back from Nicholas Morelli. Losing a whole lot of time here. As right as we say that, Morelli has other plans. He goes far off track in the ASRC back number 14 machine. So Carrington will take over the second place spot. Now let's see what Morelli can do as low. Look at the big blink from Carrington. Now Carrington's got a 5-second disadvantage. He's going to have to try and make up here to catch back up to Crouch, who has the fastest lap of the race on 153.47, the fastest, cleanest lap. Checking back in with Crouch, who's leading very securely. He's got a 5.7 second margin over the rest of the field here. And this is where we've seen Crouch be very lethal in whatever car he may be in. Just as we say that, looks like Carrington has all sorts of moments in the number 9 machine. We were saying that Crouch is absolutely lethal when he gets a clean track ahead of him. And look at that, that's Morelli drifting the final turn right as we had the camera pointed at Carrington. The LMP2 drivers are putting on a show whether they mean to or not here tonight. Road America is here for the action, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like Morelli's starting to gain some ground back up to Carrington. He's about 3.2 seconds back from the number 9 LMP2 driver, as it is still Crouch, Carrington, Morelli. But look at this, Fitzsimmons has a big moment as we look for the car. He limps his way back up, and Morelli, he has an off track. Carrington has an off track. All of a sudden, we've got a race going on for second, as Morelli has caught up within 2.5 seconds of number 9 machine. This is very much going to be a race of attrition here tonight, as Terry Crouch stretches his legs 17 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. As Carrington giving a little bit of a flash to the fans there. I heard a GT1, I believe, in front of Carrington. Not quite sure who that is as the field starts working their way around the field. So now look at that, Morelli still getting closer and closer as Crouch still getting faster and faster out front. Will we see a race shape up as Morelli 2 seconds behind here and closing the gap rather quickly? So here we go, the battle for second overall, as well as the battle for second in class in the LMP2s. Shaping up, Casey Carrington, number 9 machine, Nicholas Morelli. Both drivers have been battling consistency early on tonight. As your overall race leader in LMP2 class leader, Terry Crouch, once again clicks off a 154 flat. Waiting to see what Morelli's going to be able to do here in the number 14 machine. Oh, and just like that, right as we pan the camera, around goes Morelli. A great advertisement for ASRC, but not so much of the best luck for Morelli, who will see that work that he had put down to get Carrington within striking distance very quickly fleet away. So now Carrington will have a 13-second advantage in climbing over the number 14 machine. Up front is still Terry Crouch. And the Valvoline back number 26 machine as he will be quickly cutting through traffic once more. That, I believe, was McAllister going another lap down. Not quite sure what it is here about Road America, but a lot of drivers having a big, hard time. One of the worst, I don't want to say worst showings, but worst consistency we've seen out of the drivers for a while. The field pretty well stretched out here. Jack Forsey still leading the Daytona Prototypes. Zach Rogers leads the GT1 class, and Alex Penn leading the field of our GT3 drivers. Right now, closest gap is about 4 or 5 seconds between, I believe that's going to be McAllister and Finley Fitzsimmons. About 4.3 seconds separates these two drivers. And interesting to see McAllister not in his trademark Ferrari. He's actually in the Ford here tonight, and not sporting the usual anime-themed number 25 machine we've grown to get accustomed to. As Zach Rogers in the GT1 has an off-track excursion. Tim Jonk allows him to stay just in front. Jonk running second in the Daytona Prototypes. Maybe seeing these two drivers maybe work together with the draft to try and improve on their personal best lap times. Rogers has a 2:01.08. Jonk has a 2:04. Let's call it 2 minutes flat and a half second left over. So both these drivers, despite being in different class cars, running very similar paces here tonight. As Carrington will be one of the first drivers down pit road to initiate his green flag stop. Morelli opts to stay out. And Terry Crouch, your race leader, also stretching his legs. He's about to catch up to Alex Penn, the number 30 machine. Let's see how Crouch is going to navigate traffic here. Has to be very careful not to make any mistakes, as a little bit of bad luck from any driver could also ruin his race as well as the other drivers. We've seen plenty of races here before at Legacy end in disaster. Late in the races, drivers lose a little bit of focus, but right now, Crouch keeping it pointed forward and not having any issues compared to some of the other drivers we've seen tonight. Now the question is, how long is Crouch going to opt to stay out for before he sends it down pit road? Now his lap time's still good, though. He was about 4 seconds off of his previous fastest lap. Now we also have an update as well. Nicholas Morelli has returned back to pit road in his LMP2 after a late race incident on lap 9. He is done and out of the event. He will unfortunately not be joining us once more. I hate to see it for the ASRC backed number 9, excuse me, the number 14 machine. I was thinking of the number 9 of Carrington. Carrington's still rolling forward after that lap 8 pit stop, but we've got an update as well. Oh, there goes Carrington. Carrington goes around. Jack Forsey had an incident as well, Daytona Prototype, and looks like Carrington is going to call it quits, heading back to pit road. So that just leaves Terry Crouch out front all by his lonesome in the LMP2s. Jack Forsey moves up to 2nd overall. Tim Jonk 3rd overall. And we still have 25 minutes left to go in today's feature event. Right now, it's the Crouch show. It's going to be up to him to not make any mistakes, try and bring things back, as he's pretty much on his own here. So as it stands, Crouch effortlessly out front. Jack Forsey runs in 2nd. Forsey has about a 21-second advantage right now over Tim Jonk, but who in the world would have thought that we would see our Daytona Prototype drivers currently in podium contention here today as they run 2nd and 3rd while leading their class. Forsey in the 74, Jonk in the 22. Really good to see Jonk out here in the Daytona Prototype. He's historically ran the LMP2s in the past, but having a great showing here today and having a relatively clean race, all things considered. Now, we've seen most of these drivers have their off-track excursions and a little bit of sliding around as things went on, but looking good for the race leaders right now. Jack Rogers has come down pit road in the number 4 Corvette in the GT1s. But right now we wait on your top 3 drivers, Crouch, Forsey, Zhang to come down pit road. Rogers out of his pit stall at about 36 seconds. Alex Penn, Gareth McAllister in the GT3s still have not come out, or gone down pit road, I should say. Finley Fitzsimmons, he came down on lap 9, about a 16-second stop in his Ferrari. As we check back in with Rogers, he is a full 7.6 seconds ahead of Alex Penn, but he's got him feeling good here, knowing he's the only GT1 driver to make their way on the grid. So barring any misfortune here, he's going to pick up some major points in the championship for both himself as well as his team. And that Corvette, always a lot of fun to listen to, as it looks like Crouch, no, it's going to be Jonk, comes down pit road. Let's see how quick he can get that number 22 machine in and out. Now, Forsey, the other Daytona prototype and a driver in his class, still has yet to come down pit road. As we've got about 20 minutes left in this main event, Crouch and Forsey still have not come down the pit road to top off. As Crouch has backed off the pace ever so slightly his last time by on 153.98. His fastest lap of the race on 153.18. So about 8/10 off of his personal fastest lap time, but I think Crouch knows he just has to play it safe here and get till the end, as he is several laps ahead of the other LMP2 drivers who opted to retire early after really struggling with either the track or the setup tonight. Now this is an open setup league on these legacy machines, so a lot of good data still out there, but every driver responsible for how fast they can go. And check back in with Alex Penn leading the GT3 class. Penn in that number 30 Ferrari. He's got a fastest lap of the race with a 208.38. Now Fitzsimmons, who is third in class, he was able to hit a 208.23 his last time by, but consistency has been really fighting these drivers tonight. Jack Forsey in the number 74 Daytona prototype. He comes down pit road for his one stop of the night. Now he has to be in and out of pit road relatively quick here if he wants to stay ahead of Tim Jonk. Jonk spent about a minute total from the first set of cones on pit road to the second set. And now it looks like Crouch will come down pit road. And look at this. Finley Fitzsimmons has lawn darted himself. That's not the right way to do it. Fitzsimmons is going to have to take a tow here. As he does everything in his power to try and bring it out of the walls, but I don't think it's going to happen. As you can see him. Oh, look, did he do it? We go on board with Fitzsimmons in a very sad view. Now it's his right wheel's down, but I don't think he's going to be getting out anytime soon. Meanwhile, back up front, Forsey still leading the Daytona prototype class. He's showing about 50 seconds ahead of Jonk as we wait for the live timing update. Now showing a more reasonable, more accurate 22 seconds. Terry Crouch getting ready to send it out of pit road as well after his lap 14 stop late in the race. He's only got about 7 minutes left to run fast, so Expect to see some fast laps out of Crouch if he chooses to. As look at that, Rogers puts down his fastest lap of the race. On a 2-minute and 1 second flat. Fitzsimmons unfortunately takes a tow back to pit road, so he will most likely be done for the evening. Hate to see that happen after so long of fighting hard. As Crouch has a very comfortable 2-minute and 12-second lead. But oh no, what's this? Rogers has a problem as well. He put down his fastest lap. Yes, Pryor, looks like he lost it right before the bridge. Now, historically, this is where you see a lot of the drivers start to have those problems is late in the race, but we've lost so many drivers early on. I almost wonder if that makes it tougher for the guys. As Rogers keeps charging forward, knowing it is his race to throw away here tonight if he has those problems. Just needs to keep consistent, which is sometimes, to be fair, easier said than done. Checking back in with the race leader, Gary Crouch, clicking off laps now. Maybe I misread the timing earlier. I thought we had a little bit shorter to go, but my eyes may be deceiving me. It's showing about 14 minutes left in this race. As we heard a little bit of blinking there ahead of Crouch. Not quite sure who that was with the connection issues. Trying to get eyes on it, who that may be. I think that's McAllister in the number 25 Ford, and that Ford looking a little bit worse for wear. A bit of damage on the front right. Crouch is gonna slingshot around before going into turns 4 and 5 here. So Crouch with 13 minutes left to go, rocking and rolling, not having any big issues. Alex Penn's going to come down pit road for his one stop of the night. Still waiting to see if McAllister, not if, but when McAllister. Oh! The commentator's curse has been on point tonight. Every time we pan the camera, carnage ensues as the number 25 machine goes careening around. And oh no, I think McAllister's done as well. Now, I wonder if anything else is going to happen here. Alex Penn completes his pit stop in the Marlboro back number 30 Ferrari. I don't know if McAllister is going to get back out on track or if he's just going to call it quits in his Ford GT3. As the field very stretched out here. As it looks like here comes Crouch once more in the LMP2 to put Penn another lap down. Right now it looks like Crouch running consistently over 15 seconds a lap faster than your lead GT3 driver. Last time by, Crouch was about 2 seconds off his fastest lap of the race. As we've got more heartbreak, Tim Jonk has a big off-track excursion as he runs second in the Daytona prototype. Alex Penn makes room nice and quickly for the overall race leader, Terry Crouch. We check back in with Jonk. He runs third overall in the number 22 machine. Clicking off laps. Now, the lap times between Jonk and Forsey, the two remaining Daytona prototype drivers tonight, not that far off. I think Jonk's playing it safe here, looking at the 32-second disadvantage he currently has against Jack Forsey and backing off the pace. Their fastest lap times between Jonk and Forsey were less than 0.6 difference, so both drivers being very, very consistent as far as overall speed. And look at this. Gareth McAllister has returned back out on track in number 25 machine to salvage a bit of points here today. Now, he will not be able to catch up to Alex Penn, barring any misfortune out of Penn, but we've seen that happen before in the past as well, where a driver that looks to have it in the bag throws it away, and suddenly it's a dark horse to be able to bring it home. And the commentator's curse bites once more. McAllister loses another lap to Alex Penn, and he's going to take a very sad drive back to pit road as you see the limiter come on very early in that Ford. And unfortunately, the world-famous Australian, we try and get a camera pointed at him. Take a very sad jaunt to pit road, and I think he's going to call it quits here. Crouch out front, just clicking off laps, getting in some practice. Thankfully, Crouch wants to seat time because I believe he could pull in right now and pour a nice cup of Joe, and that would be enough to make things happen, and he would be still deemed the race leader as he's a full lap and a half ahead of Jack Forsey. So let's watch as we're going to have more traffic to contend with Terry Crouch. I believe that's going to be Forsey. Yes, it is the number 74 machine just ahead of your race leader. I would imagine Crouch in no hurry to make a move here, knowing he's got 5 minutes left to bring home his first win at Legacy Sports Car Series and not wanting to throw it away, trying to lap the entirety of the field. But that would be an accomplishment by itself if Crouch is able to come out here and lap everyone in his opening debut. He looks to the inside line of Forsey and will make it stick nice and clean. Forsey easy on the brakes, not wanting to get into the back of that LMP2. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, with less than 5 minutes left to go, Terry Crouch has lapped the entire field here tonight at Road America, coming out strong and making things happen. To the field, I think the most stretched out we've ever seen in the past is Terry Crouch. Oh, right as we say that. Jack Rogers has a big moment as he leads the GT1. We're about to run through the leaders as Crouch leads the LMP2s after Carrington and Morelli retire early. Forsey leading the Daytona prototypes about 40 seconds ahead of Tim John. Zach Rogers, our lone GT1 after Weeks and Money did not start here tonight. He runs in the lead in his class and 4th overall. And then it's going to be Alex Penn leading the GT3s as McAllister did get back out on track, but having a lot of misfortune amongst a lot of drivers here tonight. Oh, Tim Jonk with the big off-track excursion. As you see that prototype shimmying back into form. Looks like he might have pushed a little bit wide around the carousel. And that's what you're saying early on, late in the race. It just takes a little bit of lapse of judgment, and you can throw a perfectly good race in a perfectly good race car. And historically, that's what we've seen more in the past, more so than the drivers throwing it away early in the race, barring some lap one shenanigans. But something about Road America tonight just hitting a little bit differently. As we pan back to your race leader, Terry Crouch, a 2-minute advantage over the rest of the field. Let's see, will the white flag fly for Terry Crouch this time by? Or will he be rolling another lap here at Road America? Looks like one more lap to go for Terry Crouch. As Barney, our flagman, finally throwing the white flag a little bit late there for the rest of the field. So white flag proudly out in the air. Gareth McAllister goes off track once more, not coming to grips with the Ford this time by. Alex Penn also had an off-track year race leader in the GT3s. As McAllister makes his way back out on track as Terry Crouch makes his way around. We've seen Crouch have great success in the Formula 3 machines, and it looks like he's going to do just as well in the LMP2. With a clean track, hopefully Crouch somebody we see come out more this season. Again, this is Crouch's very first appearance here tonight at the Legacy Sports Car Series. Now coming into tonight, it was Team Goon Squad leading the points. AFE SimSport was second. Attrition Sim Race Campus was third in points. Actually, I take that back. It looks like it's a 4-team battle for fourth. For second. AFE SimSport, Attrition Sim Race Campus, VLR Motorsports Race Hub, all tied for second place. But look at this. The checkered flag will fly for Terry Crouch, bringing home the win here at his Legacy Sports Car debut after a grueling 45-minute event. But Crouch, a well-deserved victory tonight. It'll be Crouch winning the overall as well as the LMP2s. Jack Forsey bringing it home a Daytona prototype, with Tim Jonk finishing third overall. Zach Rogers will finish fourth overall, first in class for the GT1, and Alex Penn will win the GT3 class and bring it home fifth overall. As always, on behalf of the Legacy Sports Car Series as well as Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, thank you all so much, and we'll see you next week. Have a great night, everyone.